Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams. And welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. I'm seeing a flow of money, like cash. If that's something you've been manifesting, it's on the way. Also, healing within your body. I'm seeing it flow from the heart chakra, that green energy flowing to your limbs, up to your head, down to your legs, everywhere. Flowing outward from the heart chakra. That's a visualization for healing that you might want to use. It just came to me, 111 on the timer, if you're manifesting healing within your physical body. Okay? Thank you, Spirit. All right, let's start with the Wisdom Oracle. I can't ignore this card because it, like, when I grab this deck, it can't. Okay, distance. There might be distance between you and someone else right now. It could be intentional. I'm getting on your part. Or it could be needed. It could be needed. Okay? All right, let's go with the Wisdom Oracle. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through for this beautiful being? What do they need to know? Chop wood. This is about practical choices. Doing something very practical, either to ground ourselves, or I'm getting with the distance card though, like making a very practical decision based on what's needed. Like if you have distanced yourself from someone, or if someone is just not really coming towards you, it feels like that is something that is being done right now for your safety. Okay, it's protecting you. With this chop wood, it's like very practical choices. This feels like something that's being done in order to protect your security, your stability. I feel like there's somebody who perhaps, my palm is itching. That goes back to that money coming in. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. If someone is not coming into your space right now, it feels like that is for your safety, your stability, and your security. I just saw 321 on the timer. It feels like this person's presence could potentially degrade what you've built. Like they could, I'm seeing like kids building something like either a Lego or building something with building blocks, and then there's somebody that just comes in and they start like tearing it down, and the kids are like, what are you doing? We've been working on that. What are you doing? And they're just like, no, and they're taking it down. So this could be somebody that you know from childhood, or that you've known for a long time. This could be someone that was in your world since youth. It could be a sibling, it could be a cousin, it could be an old friend, maybe someone that you knew from school. It could be someone that you grew up with. I'm getting for some of you, it could be a step sibling. So someone that was in your life from a young age, but not from birth, or not from the very beginning of your life or their life. Okay? Especially since there were already two kids there, and then another kid came in and they wanted to. So what I'm getting is that there could be a situation where and it's funny because, okay, it's early in the morning, but yesterday I kept thinking of the Brady Bunch, and I was even singing the song. I'm like, what is this? Okay, now it makes sense because it's like blended families. This could be you and your sibling that came together as a result of a blended family, or it could be your children, okay? Whatever the case, I'm getting that this child that came into whatever situation was already, like, the relationship that was already there between whatever siblings already knew each other. This other sibling has always felt like they've always labeled themselves as the black sheep. Look at that. So you've got like 2 crows here and then this one here. The crazy thing is, okay, so these aren't necessarily looking in the same direction either. So there could just be tension all around. This could be a sibling situation. It feels like that. It feels like that. But it feels like whatever the situation is right now regarding whether you're together or not, it feels like it's that way because it needs to be that way for now if you're not together. There could be a desire to have peace and unity, especially since, you know, it's the holiday time, the holiday season when I'm recording this, or just whenever you're watching this. You just might want peace and unity. Please share more about this, Spirit. What does this beautiful being need to know? Look at that. I said money was flowing in. I don't know how that fits into it, but we'll take it. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So that has something to do with the situation. It just came through. Your prosperity, because money is coming in for you, okay? Your prosperity has you looking like this. You're soaring. Look, you got your fish. And for me, fish mean abundance. Okay? Think about it. They swim in schools. There are always a bunch of them together, unless it's something like an area that's been harmed by humans and they're not in as many, a highest quantity as they should be, but that's beside the point. Fish flow together in big groups, so they represent abundance. You've got your abundance here. You're soaring. There's something that you've done where you are like, you're doing the damn thing. And you're doing exactly what you're meant to do. You're fully aligned. And not only do you have your abundance, but you're soaring. It's like these crows down here are on the ground. And that's kind of how I see this, where it's coming through that there has to be distance between you and perhaps someone that you are missing, or maybe not even missing, but you just wish that things could be different. You wish that things could be more positive between you. You wish perhaps that there wasn't this distance between you. But these other siblings are, or it could be friends, okay? It doesn't have to be blood, a blood relation. But they are just on the ground. They're trying to get moving. They're trying to ascend. But there's something about these beings here that they're not being patient with themselves. They're not being understanding of themselves and their true divinity. They're not seeing it. And so they're very hard on themselves. And so they're stuck. They're not spreading their wings. It's the nature of at least one of these beings, okay? And I'm going to get clarity on, for some of you it could be one person, for some of you it could be two. I feel like there's true distance between you and one other being, but there could be some distance between you and another. All right? But it's in the nature of this being that there's a lot of distance between you, to sort of look out for themselves and always protect themselves. This caching, I think it's caching, because it doesn't have a T in there, so I think it's caching. But this caching card is where, like, they'll store away what they need for later, they'll hide it, and then they'll come back and get it later. So there's this feeling that this being has where, like, they're very defensive. They always feel like they have to protect themselves. Their guard is very high. They don't trust at all. Can I get more on this, Spirit? I want to, I'm drawn to this deck. The Star Tarot. What is it within this being that has distanced themselves that's causing this lack of trust? Tell us more about that, please, Spirit. The Devil. It's this obsession with protecting themselves. It's anger. There's a lot of anger. There could be Capricorn energy here. It doesn't have to be. There's also a broken heart. This person has a very painfully broken heart. I'm getting that whoever was in charge, so like if you're siblings, then the parents, or maybe there were guardians, maybe it was grandparents or uncles, aunts, or if you were friends, then parents in the neighborhood or teachers, whoever was in charge, whatever adults oversaw you all in your past, if your past goes way back with this person, this sibling or friend, they really suffered because of unwise choices, hurtful, painful choices that an adult made. And what I'm getting is that this drove a wedge not only between this person and you or other people in the group, other siblings, other friends, but also within themselves. I'm seeing like a split within this person. And this person always feels like they're at war within themselves. It's like they want to love, but they're afraid. 1333 on the timer. They want a new beginning, but they allow situations with other people to stop them. They want to do things that are truly for them on their path. Like I'm seeing that this person is extremely talented, extremely gifted, but they stop themselves all the time from moving forward because they're afraid. There's so much fear. There's so much fear. Yeah, because they're afraid of being seen. Look, even the energy that came through with this card, like when I see the sun, I'm like, yeah. But then I was like, because what immediately came through was they have access to so much success and happiness. And then I was like, but they're afraid of being seen. So they never allow themselves to experience success because they're afraid of the journey that is required to experience their success. 1444 on the timer. They don't believe in their protection. They don't believe in their protection. I mean, these two cards right here, it's like they could experience so much happiness, but with the devil there, it's like it's always this person lives in a land of opposites, black and white. They very rarely experience the whole spectrum of their feelings, even of their fears. It's like, even when they feel afraid, they know when they're feeling afraid, but then they tell themselves, oh, you're like, there could be an aspect of religion here. I'm getting that, where they're telling themselves, oh, you're sinning. You're not supposed to be feeling afraid. And so they're constantly in a state of self-torture. This person is constantly living their life, torturing themselves with their thoughts. That's how their devil energy plays out. 1555, because the devil card is card 15. And so that keeps them stuck. It keeps them so that they can't fly, they can't change, they can't soar, they can't experience the healing that they truly need, that their soul wants them to feel, is because they torture themselves through everything. And then they end up in a tower. We're in minute 16. I don't know what this person's tower looks like, but that could be, with that chopped wood card coming out, the practicality of this distance, the need for this distance between you. It could be that this person is currently going through a tower. Can we know more about this, Spirit? Yeah, they're in 3 of Swords. Their heart is hurting. Their heart is hurting. She has her face in her palms. This person could physically be like that. I feel like a part of this person's evolution is for them to realize how they have been betrayed. I think this person is often seen as a betrayer, as dramatic, but that actually is a part of their gift. They're like drama, okay? Because they have a gift of with the arts, like acting. I'm getting Leo vibes, okay? Being on stage, that's something that actually is a gift to them, but it's something that they've been labeled as in a negative way. Like, oh, you just start drama. I'm getting like chaos coordinator. Like, this has caused a lot of anxiety for them. We're in minute 18. It's 18 on the timer. The way that this person has been labeled by people that they love has caused so much pain and anxiety for them. And what keeps coming through is that adults in their life misunderstood them and mislabeled them. I'm also getting that, because see, in that original vision that came through, I saw a group of 3. So there could be triangulation that has happened where there were 2 against 1 or 1 against 2, and I feel like this trickled down, because I'm seeing a tree. It's like a family tree. The apples are falling. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So the dysfunction between you and this person or these siblings or these friends has come from the adults. in large part. And take this if it resonates, but this is what's coming through, okay? Because a lot of people, you know, feel very passionately about the way that, I know that sometimes that is the way it is. It's like, oh, but my parents are golden, or, you know, and I understand that, but this is what's coming through. I deliver what comes through, okay? Not necessarily what makes people comfortable, but Take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay. I'm getting that this distance, it may have just recently manifested as being in the physical realm, but I'm getting that this distance between these beings has been felt for a long time. Whoever this person is, they have not felt like a part of the group or the family. And what I'm getting is that there may have been some heavy burden of responsibility that you felt for this. But see, that's why the message came through regarding the parents. Because Divine is saying that it had much more to do with the parents or the adults in the situation than perhaps has been realized. And that can be hard to, if this does resonate on any level, that can be hard to come to terms with because, especially like with my dad leaving when I was 9, I had my mom and I depended on her so much, so I kind of put her on a pedestal and I saw her as so perfect. But it wasn't until I was in my early 20s, I was 22 when I first started getting therapy, and I started realizing that, wait a minute, Mama wasn't perfect. So there were lessons that I needed to learn in all the areas in which I needed healing, not just assigning all the blame to one parent, okay? So just take what resonates. The Lovers. Ace of Pentacles. Judgment. There is love between you. I'm feeling it. I feel this love between you and this person. I'm also feeling love from your parents. I'm feeling the love of your parents or whatever adults were in this situation. Like they had love for the children in this situation. Whoever has distanced themselves, they have love for you. You have love for them. There's so much love here. But there's also so much dysfunction and fear that has persisted for what is coming through as a very long time. Here's the key, okay? If there was ever any discussion, negative talk about this sibling, or talk by the parents or the adults in the situation about this sibling or friend, that is a part of what started the dysfunction, or that is a huge part of the pain that was caused for this child or for this for this person that's distanced themselves, because there shouldn't have been discussions about this person, no matter how difficult, quote unquote, they were, no matter how, quote unquote, dramatic they were. This person should not have been labeled by and talked negatively about by adults in this situation. It was the adults' responsibility to address these concerns or behaviors with the child, not to talk about them behind their back. So if there was any of that, then that's one reason why this love has maintained itself as like a seed, it hasn't expanded fully. Because what would be necessary there is a wake-up call of sorts, forgiveness, healing. There's a lot that would be necessary. This Lovers is right above abundance. So I feel like, you know, that keeps coming in, that you have abundance flowing to you. But I feel like you also have abundance in love. And so that could also be a part of the issue that someone else has with you. It's not an issue for you, it's a blessing for you. But this person might feel like there's something that they're doing that doesn't measure up to what you are doing. Or, yeah, they feel very insecure. Whether it's about what you've got going on in love or what you've got going on with your prosperity and your abundance and your healing. But whatever it is that you're doing, there would need to be that type of energy within the connection here on everyone's part in order to move something forward. And that is what seems to be lacking because of the fear that this other person is feeling. What Divine is really bringing through is that you're on the right path. And you might feel some grief or even some sense of responsibility for the state that these relationships or this relationship is in. But it has so much more to do with where this person is personally, individually, in their life, and the fears that they feel, as well as the dynamic that was already set in motion by adults in the situation when you all were young. I feel like the goal that Spirit has for this reading is to communicate to you and to reassure you that it is not your fault, the state that this relationship is in. There is so much dysfunction, so much fear, 2828 on the timer, that has persisted within this family dynamic for so long. With 2 and 8, the balance has been affected over and over again. I'm seeing with that eternity loop with the number 8. And then 2 and 8 is 10. So this is within a family dynamic. It's been going on for so long that this is how this person functions. And it is painful for them. But it doesn't feel like, let's see, how are things moving forward with this person? Yeah, it's 5 of Swords. It doesn't feel like there's any sort of positive change. It feels like there's so much conflict within this person's mind that they're not ready to move forward. They're not... I'm getting that their motivation doesn't come from a place that would allow them to open up to healing. They want to look good, or they want to feel protected. And I saw in my mind's eye, victimhood. It feels like this person, if you were to start on a journey of healing or try to move forward on a journey of healing with this person, they would always go to a place where they are the victim. That is their security. That's where they feel comfortable enough to survive, but they will never thrive there. But it's where they go for survival. They always want to present themselves as the victim. This might resonate with you in having past conversations with them. You realize that there's always someone that this person is going to blame. Even if it's you, when you're trying to heal something, they're always going to make it your fault or someone else's fault. And see, that's why when I first saw these cards, chop wood and distance, Divine said the distance is necessary. It's absolutely necessary. Because this is you. You've got your arms out and you're like, look, you're flying. Look, you've got it. Look at you. Remember, it's something about arms out. I don't know. You might stretch, or I don't know. It's something about you having your arms stretched out. But I saw you here as like flying, where the other crows are down here trying to look for their abundance, but you're flying with yours. So this also tells me that you've moved on from this unhealthy dynamic. You've moved on from this dysfunction because you realize that it just doesn't work for you. And you could be in your 30s. I keep saying threes. You could be in your 30s. You could be in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. You could even be in your 20s, but you've made this. Look, it's 32. Yeah, that's coming through. Okay. Definitely somebody's in their 30s. You have made a choice where you're like, you've peeped that dysfunction and you're saying, I can't do it. And you want so badly for everybody to come with you. You're telling them, look, you can spread your wings, just grab the fish, okay, and fly with me. But they're not seeing that. And so Divine says, you gotta go. Now, going might look like staying right where you are and doing what you're doing, but it's like, it's figurative. You gotta go. You gotta move on and allow them to do whatever it is that they need to do wherever they are in their karmic cycle at this time, because they're not ready to do this. They haven't heard the wake-up call. They have not heard the trumpet sound, and they're not ready yet to leave that dysfunction from the past behind. As I was saying that, I saw 3322. It's like you're taking steps up and they're taking steps downward. And I know that you are not okay. You would never be okay with remaining here in your world. You would never be okay with remaining in a 5 of Swords, where there's constant mental conflict and battle within yourself and holding on to grief and pain from the past. You would never be okay with that, because you've already received that wake-up call at some point in your life where you were like, wait a minute, yeah, I experienced the same dysfunction as everybody else in my family, but I realized that I deserve more. I deserve better. And so even if I have to give myself better, that's what I'm going to do. You decided to create a better world for yourself. You weren't waiting for somebody else to do it for you. You weren't going to sit there all day blaming someone else because it was too painful for you to take accountability for whatever you needed to be accountable for. You did the work. And you continue. 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 5. That's why you are moving forward, is because you do the work. Okay, hard truths. What else needs to be known, Divine? I just saw ancient history. This could be from something that happened a long time ago. It says, you wish things were different, but the past cannot be altered. Focusing on the present is more productive and will support the changes you wish to see. This card is for support. And this one was dropping down. Numb. Yeah. I feel like, okay, first of all, Divine is saying, don't allow yourself to become numb because you don't want to feel the pain of this distance. If there is some pain that you need to process, you can cry, you can, if there's anger that you feel, whatever emotion is coming through to you, allow yourself to process that and give yourself grace, okay? Perspective, focusing on small details could cause someone to miss the broader context. Step back and consider how it will fit into the overall narrative of your life. Yeah, what I'm getting is that this is a moment in time of wishing that things were different. But perhaps this is an invitation from Spirit to see your past in someone else and their unwillingness to heal. Where you're like, okay, I had that opportunity too, where I could have distanced myself, I could have remained cold, I could have refused to heal, but I didn't. And process that as your self-love. Honoring your self-love, the choices that you made in the past to do something differently and to change your situation and to no longer be stuck in that loop of karmic redundancy. Is redundancy a word? Redundancy, something like that. My tummy's growling. You might be hungry for some support. Okay? Sometimes it's necessary to ask for help, and that's okay. Accept assistance when offered. You don't have to do it alone. What's coming through is that your spirits are surrounding you. They support you. So no matter who you have around you in the physical realm or who you don't, you have support. That's what I'm getting, is that you have support. You may have been in a moment where you wanted support of a certain type. Maybe it was something, an attribute that you missed about somebody. Maybe it was their connection to something that you missed. You know, maybe there was something you guys used to do together that you were missing. You know, maybe it was somebody singing that you missed. Maybe it was their humor that you missed. Maybe it was their, you know what I'm seeing is like somebody getting dressed for something, and maybe the person that you are not in communication with right now, they were really good at fashion. And so you missed them helping you get your jewelry together or your suit together or whatever it was, you know? And so you had memories, fond memories of this person, and something that you went through recently took you back to the positive experiences or a positive experience that you had with this person. But you have support. And what I'm being taken back to is in the reading at the beginning, the first image or the first vision that I got of this person was of them trying to tear down something that you had built. Because remember, you and another child were building something, either with Legos or building blocks, and they came in and just started tearing it down, and you were so surprised. You were like, wait, what are you doing? So what that tells me is that if you were to allow this person into your life, I feel like it would be a result of their own pain and suffering, but for whatever reason, they would try to tear down something that you have invested in. Now, let's look at the two things that came through for you in this reading. Remember, money coming in. My palm was itching, and that's kept coming through. This person would set you back financially. 40-40 on the timer. This person would set you back financially. And this Lover's card was right above, because at one point in the reading I mentioned that it was like this on the table. So I was seeing Lovers, and then right below it I was seeing abundance. So this person would negatively influence, or would try to, okay? They would try to. Or it's just the way that their energy would play out. Because for some of you, this person would intentionally do that. For others, it's just how they operate. You know, because that came through, that's their nature, to protect themselves, to preserve themselves. That's their nature. So is it that they're intentionally trying to take away from your life? That has to be looked at on a case-by-case basis. This is a collective reading. But what's coming through collectively is that it's this person's nature to look out for themselves first and foremost. So whether they're aware or not, they're always going to put themselves first. They're always going to protect and preserve themselves before they even think about you. Now that's the real deal. And Spirit brought through a lot of messages about the love that's there and all of that. And that's great. It's good to see that, because that helps to heal the heart chakra, to know that there is love there. However, what's also there is a whole lot of that devil energy that came through. This Three of Swords, this person is hurting. And they are not in a state where they are open to receive healing. So even if you were trying to help them heal, holding their hand, they're not going to come along. Or they might pretend and play nice for a little while, but they're not in it to heal. And so this person would, just by their nature, have a negative impact on the love in your life and the abundance in your life, your money and your love connection. Wherever you are in your love life, whatever peace it is that you have, whatever goodness it is that you're experiencing, or even if you are going through something that is, you know, sometimes frustrating, they would make it so much more frustrating. There is no healing energy that this person would bring you. There is no sense of reciprocity that this person would bring you, and I know that because love and money is how we can reciprocate. With money, finances, actual wealth, things, and with emotions. Those are the ways that we can reciprocate with people. And they would tear down in both of those areas in your life. They would tear away in both of those areas of your life, okay? Cause a loss. That's what they would do, is cause a loss. And you're doing too well. You're manifesting too beautifully to open up to that sort of energy. Okay? Okay, I keep hearing Sword of Light. I kind of wanted to read to you, but I just heard Sword of Light, Sword of Light. Okay. Thank you, Archangel Michael. So that means that it's about your protection, you know? Protect yourself, protect your energy. So right here we have card 17, like the star. It's time to play. So whatever it is that you do creatively, allow yourself to play and to explore. You're working too hard and worrying about everything. So this situation may have brought a lot of worry, Seek out joyous experiences to bring balance into your life. Yeah. Remember, it's all about what you choose to focus on, okay? Thank you, Spirit. What message does this beautiful being need to hear in addition to the last one? The way forward is open. You're not trapped. This is card 32. Possibilities and opportunities abound. Archangel Michael says, I will guide you to personal and spiritual freedom. Ashe. I love that. You have freedom from this grief. If you have been feeling grief, you also have freedom from any sense of burden that you felt in carrying the... I feel like what's coming through is responsibility for this situation. This was not your responsibility. It's not something that you caused, this distance, and it's not the reason why this distance persists. It's a necessary thing. In order for you to continue to grow and to keep moving forward, there has to be this distance between you and this being. And something that can help is, like, if you miss this person, or if you find yourself feeling nostalgic or having a memory of them that just makes you kind of like wish that things were different, you can just pause in that moment and charge up your heart chakra, receive divine energy there, right at the center of your chest, and allow your heart chakra to grow beautiful and bright and green. And then you can send this person loving, healing energy. And if there's something that you are feeling angry about, you can say, I release that pain. Because the most important thing is to not carry grief or constant anger, since it did come up that it happened a long time ago. Now, if something happened recently, then, you know, definitely give yourself the time that you need to process that, because it takes time to process anger. But if you find that you have healed from something and it just feels like something is just popping up and it doesn't feel natural to feel that, and you just want to cleanse your energy of that, 4747 on the timer, then you can just claim the forgiveness. I forgive whatever it was that was done. I release that burden. It is not mine to carry. And if it's within you at that time to wish that person well, then you can wish them healing, you can wish them love, you can wish them whatever it is you want to. But that's a way to allow yourself to heal through that moment and to not suffer through that moment of either missing them or feeling some sort of uncomfortable emotion, you know? So I hope that helps. These are the things that I do, and they work, you know, but you have to, also part of all of this is knowing what works for you. So if something resonates, try it. Maybe there's something you already do that works for you. Just keep doing it. And remember that this holiday season can be very sensitive and tender for us, but we still move forward. And you're moving forward so beautifully. You've got so many blessings that are continuing to manifest for you. So don't stop now. Keep going. Ashe. Thank you so much for joining me, beautiful being, for this reading and tuning in. I hope that it brought some insight, some clarity, and some good vibes. I appreciate you so much, and I love you, and I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.